knew not just their love for each other, but their attraction to each other and their erotic lust for each other. Sensuality, attraction. Nakedness means the end. Learning to be total sexual partners. It's so sad that husbands and wives hide their fantasies from one another. I tell wives to reveal their fantasies to their husbands all the time. And let me tell you something. There isn't a woman on earth who is neglected by her husband, and I say specifically the husbands because the history of relationships has been that the legitimate female need for attention is rarely matched by the male attention span. There isn't a woman on earth who is neglected by her husband who does not find a man to make her feel good about herself. You will see an episode of Shalom, and I don't mean an affair, I just mean some man. We had this Catholic husband and a Jewish wife on Shalom in the Home. Their episode's coming up in 2 or 3 weeks. They're called the Latanzios. You'll see the show. He criticizes his wife for everything she does. And she's developed some nervous tics, like she washes her hands a lot. And he's always critical of her. He doesn't find her attractive. I look at him and I say to him, this is all on camera. I say to him, do you feel that your wife's beneath you? He thinks and he says, yes. I turn to his wife and I say, there isn't a woman on earth whose husband treats her the way you're being treated, who doesn't find some man to make her feel womanly. Is there someone like that in your life? She said, of course not. I would never. I said, I'm going to ask you again. Is there someone like that in your life? It's an absurd question. I'm going to get up and walk out. I said, I'll ask you one last time. Is there someone like that in your life? You'll watch the show. She suddenly says, at the supermarket, there's a Spanish stocking clerk who always notices her nails. And she said, I go to that supermarket specifically so that he will compliment me on my nails, because I go to have my nails done every week, and in 20 years of marriage, my husband has never once said to me, you have such pretty nails. Here is a woman reduced to going to the supermarket, to the checkout guy, or the stocking boy, to get a compliment. Women have fantasies all the time. Women are much more sexual than men, but they hide it from their husbands. They think that their husbands cannot handle the full nature of their sexuality, so they end up burying it. We didn't even know that women had fantasy until Nancy Friday revealed it to us in Women on some of her books. Someone help me here. 3 or 4 books on female fantasy. My Secret Garden, Women on Top, a few others. So my friends, tell me about these books. Nakedness means not hiding your erotic side from each other. And by the way, that also means that husbands don't have to hide the ferocious nature of male sexuality from their wives. They don't have to go to porn to do things that they feel are exciting. Judaism is so open-minded about being total sexual partners, it would blow your mind. There's a famous story in the Talmud. This woman comes to Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi, Rabbi Judah the Prince, the redactor of the Mishnah, editor of the Mishnah, the Talmud. And she says to him, I prepared a table for my husband, and he wanted to overturn the table. Use your imagination as to what that means, okay? I see that these people aren't very imaginative here. He says to her, I wish I could tell you that it is forbidden, but everything a man and a woman who are married want to do together is permitted. Only if you are uncomfortable with it is it forbidden. We are the most liberal-minded when it comes to sex and marriage. We believe in husbands and wives becoming bone of one bone and flesh of one flesh. Nakedness. Total. Don't just be metaphorically naked. You're supposed to be erotically naked in front of each other. It's such a shame that women hide their femininity from their husbands. Every day, every woman here goes out, and there are men who notice that you're a woman. Be it the guy that you buy shoes from, he holds onto your foot for a second too long, or some man that gives you a compliment, and you know when you come home, you know it. You hide that from your husband. You never share those interactions with him, thinking that the fragile male ego simply can't handle it. And yet I tell husbands all the time, if you want to remain attracted to your wife, 2 of you are walking together down the street, walk 1 or 2 steps behind her. You will see all these men who look at her, and you will be reminded, she's not just the mother of your children, she's a woman. Men need variety. Men are addicted to sexual variety. It will come in one of 2 ways. More women, pornography, cheating, adultery, or it will come through the many eyes of many men staring at their one wife. Sensuality, attraction, nakedness, very quickly, eroticism and romance. My friends, do you know what eroticism is? We don't know what it is. We think eroticism is someone holding a whip and wearing bondage clothing. Eroticism involves one thing. It's called obstacles. The erotic is where you can't have the object of your desire immediately, so that anticipation and longing builds up. I'll give you an example. The average American wife, studies show, walks naked around the bedroom all the time. And then she wonders why her husband is less attracted to her body. So I had a story like this. When I first arrived as rabbi at Oxford University, there was a couple that wanted to get married in the beautiful gardens of St. John's College. Young married, Jewish couple, totally secular. They said to me, will you marry us? I had never done a marriage. I had no clue how to do a marriage. Till today, I'm convinced that they're not even legally married. They've been living in sin for 20 years. They said to me, we're very new age. Not only are we going to give each other a ring, but I want to pierce her navel. I said to him, do whatever you want, just pay. And I said to them, if you want me to marry you, we have to have 6 classes on Judaism, 1 a month for the next 6 months. And we went through all the major things about Judaism, about kosher food and the Jewish holidays. And when it came to the Jewish laws of sexual intimacy, I said to them, you don't walk around the bedroom naked. You wear pajamas. It's time for sex. Then you get naked. He thumps the table and he says, how dare you? You told us that we should try to have a kosher home. We'll try. You told us that we should keep the Jewish festivals. We'll see. You told us we have to give 10% of all of our income to charity, and that the Shmuley Swiss Skiing Fund is the best charity. But who are you to tell us that we should be prudish in our own bedroom? And I looked back at him and I said to him, you can disregard my advice if you wish, but if you do, you face the nightmare scenario. And I had some guy play the organ in the background. Da-da-da-da! She looks at me and she says to me, Rabbi, what is the nightmare scenario? And I said to him, the nightmare scenario is where you are married 3 or 4 years, you're in bed watching television. Your wife comes into the room, takes off all her clothes, her undergarments, and you continue to watch television. And that nightmare scenario perpetuates itself around American homes every single night, my friends. If you're a woman, your husband should have to earn the sight of your body. Men should be peeping toms when it comes to their own wives. I hosted this radio show in Utah for Mormon wives, 50,000 watts when I was getting started in radio. You know how many women would say to me that they go to the bathroom in front of their husbands? I mean, the erotic nature of the body cannot be compromised. Why do you think there are so many webcam girls on the internet? Again, so my friends tell me. Now, if you want to see a woman who's naked, see a woman who's naked, okay. But why webcam girls? You know how this works? Girls who go to college want money. They put a camera in. They just lead their lives. And sometimes you see them they're naked for what? 5 minutes out of 24 hours? Why would people pay for this? It's the anticipation. The instant availability of all that junk porn isn't even erotic anymore. The biggest argument against porn is that it's boring. It's the fact that you might see or you might not. It's the need to surmount obstacles. It's the reason why in every pornographic movie, it's the woman who the guy gets sexy with starts off as some bumbling, absent-minded secretary with sleeves down to here, glasses this thick. Mr. Jones, do you know where I do the filing? And he says, baby, tonight there's no filing. I know you're all thinking, how does he know this stuff? Go. And there's all these obstacles that have to be overcome. She's not aware of it. She seems totally absent-minded. That's why Judaism insisted on modesty, because modesty is actually erotic. It's exciting. It's the reason why you can go to any beach around the world. I was just in Miami, spring break.